Paranormal Family. I have another drop for you on Sundays. We usually don't do a Sunday drop, but I wanted to put out a small one for this Sunday. This one comes out of Illinois, and I think it's a pretty good one. It says, I was walking alone down a road that parallels some thick woods, and when I heard movement in the brush, I stopped and I looked toward the noise, and to my absolute horror, a huge black wolf looking head came out of the brush, and it was looking at me. I don't know if it was on two legs or four, but it was taller than I was. I was only 10, so about 4'5" or so. Suddenly it came bursting out of the woods toward me, and I thought I was dead. I don't know what happened at that point, but obviously it didn't grab me. All I can remember from that part is that in my face, and it was right in my face, and then it wasn't, and it was walking away back into the bush on two legs. My mom remembers seeing me running home with a look of terror. So she met me outside. She knew something bad had happened, but I didn't know what it was. She says I was shaking uncontrollably and I had wet myself and kept saying, a werewolf just tried to take me. She says that she doesn't know what I encountered, but I was a tough kid who was always outside and wasn't prone to making up stories. She says the next day I brought a book home from the school library titled Meet the Werewolf, and became obsessed with anything werewolf related. I wouldn't go outside for a long time after that, even when all the other kids were outside. We moved the next year to a city 100 miles away, and I got back to normal again. Moved back to the same rural town when I was 18, and I have lived here ever since. It's a small town on Rend Lake in Jefferson County, Illinois. I know what I saw, and I'll never forget its face. As it wasn't a dog, I go into the woods quite a bit alone, and sometimes I get a little bit worried. But I also always carry a gun now. But to be safe alone in the rural areas because these dogman things are real. My late wife had a daytime encounter with what she called a 7-foot tall black werewolf standing on two legs in 2001, just about 5 miles from where I had my encounter. The only difference is that she was driving and had a relatively safety of the car. It proved to me that they do exist and they're in the area. So at least I know to be careful in the woods instead of being like everyone else who don't have a clue until they face to face with something or their child goes missing. It's scary to know what they are and that they're real, but I think it's better to be aware of them so I know to take precautions when in the woods. And I tell anyone who will listen despite being laughed at by some. But some know me best, that I'm not crazy. I don't make up stories. All I can tell you is what I seen as a little boy. And what kept it from grabbing me that day, I have no idea. My uncle also had a Bigfoot encounter in '81 while in the outskirts of Shawnee National Forest. He never went back and is afraid to be outside after dark to this day. Is there any woods around? He won't go. He is 60 now, and he is still scared of the things that don't exist, they say. He's a huge guy himself, but is terrified of seeing things again. He was an avid hunter and in the woods all of his life, and now he hates the woods. It gives him anxiety attacks. The funny thing is that he actually laughed at me when I told him about the werewolf looking thing that almost got me. I think that he thought I was joking at first, but I told him just like that Bigfoot that you imagined, and he changed his tune and said I wasn't laughing at you because I didn't believe you. I was laughing at you because I know what you've seen. He said it was probably a Bigfoot that I saw, but most certainly, probably not a werewolf, because if it was a werewolf, we both probably wouldn't be having this conversation. I don't believe Bigfoots, he said, are as dangerous as the werewolves. So what do you guys think? Do you believe werewolves are more dangerous than a Bigfoot? Or do you think a Bigfoot's more dangerous than a werewolf? And what do you think about Save That Little Boy? Why do you think it didn't grab him that day? Do you think it just meant to try to scare him? Or do you think something happened that caused it not to be able to grab him? I'm not sure what I think happened. I think that sometimes these things live off of fear and they do things just to scare us and just to say, ha ha, I'm right here. And sometimes I think they're more sinister than that and they will just attack us. But I wanted to drop a short story for Sunday, guys, and I've got another one lined out that'll be dropping Monday. I hope you all enjoyed this short story, and until next time, keep your head on a swivel and don't be something's dinner, and don't forget to smash that like button. Thanks a lot, guys.